Alright, hello friends, welcome back to another video. It's been a little while. I had some issues with my editing software that I normally use, and I think I might bite the bullet and just go for a paid program. Not entirely sure yet. I've been testing out some other editing free programs, and I don't like any of them. I'm very much a creature of habit. It's very hard to get me to change like what programs I'm using, and it's just, yeah, I'm very bad at it. But a lot has been happening in the last month. I intended on doing like a whole end of the semester final artwork piece with you and show the illustration assignment that I had to do, which was making a comic, and we only had to do 3 pages, and there's not a lot that you can work with only 3 pages story-wise, so that was a little difficult for me to figure out like not a complete story, but like a good snippet of a story, I guess, with only 3 pages to work with. And the problem that I was having was I had 1 week to do the first page, which was fine. That was enough time for me to do what I needed to do, but I was under the impression it would be the same for the last 2 pages that we had to do, and that was not the case. We had to finish the last 2 pages in that last week, and I felt a little rushed. I will be very honest. I had a very hard time trying to film the process and then also finish the assignment, so I only filmed like a couple snippets of it, and yeah, there's not a lot to share. So we're starting this vlog with something else. Unfortunately, I do have, because it's a digital piece, I do have like the time lapse or like the drawing process of it digitally, just the screen though, not of me actually drawing it. So I will share that at least and kind of talk to you guys about the whole process, I guess, because there is a lot that went behind creating it and designing the characters and all that stuff. So I will share all that with you, and then we are going to start this vlog. As you can probably tell from this scene here, I have rearranged the room again. I have been feeling really restless, to be honest. I've been feeling kind of like clawing at my enclosure a little bit. I ended up moving my computer into my bedroom and dismantling the entire office. Yeah, I had a big emotional moment there for a hot minute in April. So I've been feeling very discouraged with my art journey, and I, at this point, have kind of put all of the art shop stuff and Etsy and everything on the back burner, and even the art market that I thought I wanted to do, I've put that on the back burner, and I've been kind of trying to reevaluate what I actually want out of this channel and out of my artwork and my future, essentially. I don't think that I need to necessarily figure that all out right now, but I am kind of getting to a point where I am not comfortable. Not that I think I need to be comfortable at this point. We are still figuring things out. But I'm also very aware that a lot of the things happening in the world right now are kind of affecting my mental state. So, big part of that. But I'm trying to be kinder to myself about it. I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of know the expectation and the result of something before it happens, which is unrealistic, but doesn't stop me from trying. So putting all of my effort into school right now and not knowing what I'm going to do with it, or what career I'm going to have afterwards, or whether or not I want to go into a master's program, is just like, it feels so overwhelming to think about, because I don't know if I'm making the right choice. I don't necessarily think that any choice I make regarding all that is going to be the right one. I think I can make the best situation out of any choice that I make with that, but doesn't stop the feeling that I am making the wrong choice by making a decision, you know? I feel like a lot of people can kind of relate to that. It's held me back a lot. I know that's also kind of what's holding me back with the art markets. I feel like I'm making the wrong decision starting too soon, or like not having enough in stock to bring, or like I am letting my expectations and my hope get too high on what it's gonna be like, and then I'm just gonna be so disappointed. And like, yeah, I need to be a little more disciplined with all of that. But the whole point of me bringing any of this up was the fact that like I feel like I've been kind of stuck here, and I needed to reframe my mindset, and part of that, it's really helpful when I rearranged the things around me and my environment. So I rearranged the entire room again. It's not like a huge difference, but because I am bringing all of my art stuff in here and all of my office supplies and whatnot into this room, it does make it a little bit more cramped. Moving everything in the room has really helped, honestly, with like how I've been feeling in the last couple days. I don't think that I'm quite, I don't want to say that I'm not like happy, but I think I'm not quite comfortable in my skin yet, and like in my I feel like I'm constantly just like on edge, and I don't know how to like calm that down a little bit. It's been kind of difficult, so I haven't been filming much. I think I over-criticize and like hyper-analyze every little thing that I do. I am trying to let go of those reins a little bit this month. We'll see how that goes. The semester has come and gone. My illustration class is done. My photography class is done. I am now going into summer classes. So I have another art history class coming up pretty soon. I think it starts on the 18th or the 19th. And I want to try and get some art done before that, and some reading, because I literally, since the spring semester started, I felt like I had no time to actually sit down and read, or at least that it wasn't like a productive thing for me to be doing at that time. So I did not read very much this last month. So I want to get back into reading. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So we are going to go over the assignment for my illustration class, which was the comic. Essentially, we were told to create a character and then create a story revolving around that character. We only had 3 pages to work with, so I had to really make the story condensed. It's not expanding a lot on the character or really that exciting, but I thought it was a fun process and I wanted to share with you guys. So this comic is supposed to follow Arlie, the main character who's holding the flashlight in the cover art that I showed you. And I had a really hard time reframing how I draw in a comic format, especially with the time constraints, because I was given a week to finish this first page, and then I was given a week to finish the second and the third page. So the last portion of this assignment was really rushed for me, and it definitely shows in the art style and the quality of some of the drawings. That last page is not my favorite, I will say that. It definitely needs to be reworked, but I just did not have the time. And I don't know if I'm going to go back and actually rework this at any point. It was a lot of fun to see the final result all together. It's the first short little comic that I've ever made, so in a way I feel accomplished. Do I love the end result? No, not really. But I will also be sharing the final images at the end of this little talking portion that I have here, so you guys can kind of pause and read through it if you want to. I also have better quality images on my Instagram if you'd rather read it there. Because of the time constraints that I had on this project, I did take some shortcuts. I had to trace a hand and some feet and a room at one point. I didn't copy them exactly. I built off of those proportions and made it my own kind of thing, which is a whole discussion about tracing and copying that we can discuss later. I did have to also copy some of my own drawings and paste them and switch the eyes out near the end there because I was really rushing to get this done. I would love to go back and rework this at some point, but will I? Probably not. I don't think I have that kind of discipline, to be honest. I did so much work on it that I'm kind of tired of looking at it, and that's just where we're at, and that's okay. We'll move on. It was a very short story that we had to write, and there's not a lot of substance to it, to be honest. It's just Arlie kind of wandering through the house with a flashlight, and she meets a ghost, and the ghost is surprised that she can see her. Basic premise. I feel like it could be kind of a cute story to delve into as like a little short story though, maybe in the future, but other than that, will I continue this comic? No. Sorry. I find it really hard to replicate even my own drawing style. I had to redraw her face so many times. And I feel like every single drawing of her looks different. She does not look like the same character outside of like her hairstyle and her clothes. It was so hard. I don't know. I don't understand how animators do it. But for this project, I was really struggling. So I did take some shortcuts and I did turn in some work that I'm not the most proud of. But it is done and I feel accomplished that it is done. And I thought I would still share it with you guys because honestly, even though I might look at this and not think of it as my best work, there were a lot of my classmates who really enjoyed it and a lot of people on Instagram who really enjoyed it. So I want to share even the stuff that I'm not super proud of. Not everything that I make is going to be my best work. That is part of the learning process. And I can look back on this now and say I made a short comic and I can see where I went wrong and I can improve on it. You'll never get better unless you see where you can improve. I think that's pretty much the basis of what I wanted to share about this project. If you have any questions about the characters or like how I came up with the concept or anything, I guess you can comment that below and I will try and answer it. But yeah, I'm going to share the final images with you. You can pause and read if you want to, and I will check back in with you guys later in this video. Miss Gherkin's been hanging out in the sun. Are you sunbathing? Oh, yes. All nice and stinky. Oh, yeah. Hi, good morning. I wanted to talk about the book that I'm reading. I said I was going to start reading more, and I finally have. So I am about halfway through this book now, and I'm trying to talk a little quietly because my partner is still sleeping. So I apologize if the birds are louder than I am. I really like this author, Leigh Bardugo. I read her book, The Familiar, recently, and that is one of my favorite books now. I really love the way that she writes character relationships. I think it's really like natural and there's a lot of growth in the relationships. I don't think that they're really forced and they're not like, ooh, I think that she was cute so I like her kind of thing. It's like a whole development of like an actual real person thinking these thoughts and like going through them and being affected by them kind of thing. I really like how she writes. And This one, I don't know what it is about this one. I really like the concept. It's about a cult, that's like a secret society. Not necessarily, I guess you could consider it a cult, but secret society in Yale. And there's like factions of them. So there's different secret societies that are tied to different things magic-wise. So magic is real and ghosts are real. And they have like whole secret, I don't want to spoil too much of this book, but I love the concept. I think it's really cool. Very dark academia vibes. I will give a trigger warning because I was not aware of this when I went into the book, but there is a portion where she's recalling a traumatic event as a child. I don't want to say it in the video, but I will put it on the screen. So just warning you, that is in there. It's like maybe a third through the book where she really recounts it, and then she does reference it like maybe 2 more times. I'm only halfway through, so she might reference it more, but just so you know, that is in there. I don't know yet necessarily if that was needed. I guess in a way it kind of adds to the gravity of the situation of the ghosts in relationship to what they can do. But at the same time, I don't know, it kind of gave me the ick. So I put the book down for a little bit after reading that part. And I just recently picked it back up. I do have to say, it is a little bit of a slow start. There's a lot of like flashbacks and a lot of jumping between 2 timelines. So if that is not your thing, it might be a little confusing to read. But it's overall really enjoying it, besides those 2 things. Or one thing, I guess, really. The time jumps are not, like, super annoying, to be honest. I feel like some books can get really, really irritating with it, where you're like, okay, I just want to read the story as is, you know? I don't want to have all this background information. But, like I said, she's really good at developing characters and, like, having you understand the complexity of them and really giving them a lot of depth. And I think that the flashbacks in this case are really helpful with that. You understand a lot more nuances about the characters and why they're behaving the way that they are, and I think it is kind of important. So I think that's all I have to say about it right now. I haven't finished it, so I don't know how good it will get. We are kind of at a interesting part about speaking to the dead and everything, so that's kind of fun. I will let you know how I like it when I finish it, because hopefully I will finish it by the time this video comes out. Probably won't. I keep bringing it with me to work and then not actually reading it. It just sits there because I'm like disassociating on my breaks. But I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to actually set aside time at night to read and just like relax at the end of the day. With my art history class coming up, I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to have enough mental space to do that, you know, because that teacher, I've had this teacher in the past, he likes to yap. He's a yapper. What can I say? I mean, I tend to be a very efficient person, I guess. When I'm learning about topics, I want it to be done in like a very concise and efficient way. I don't like when people repeat themselves and like draw on and on and on and on and on. And unfortunately, the things that he teaches about are really, really relevant, especially to like modern day, even though it's referencing history and like art history. I just wish he would like kind of cut out the parts that are like not necessary. It's very nitpicky of me. I understand. He's a good teacher. I just know that I'm going to be sitting there watching his 2-hour lectures and kind of hating it. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I keep up this reading adventure. What is the word I'm looking for? It is first thing in the morning. I'm very tired. I'm still sleepy brain right now, so. And both the kitty cats are over here watching the birds out the window. I'm very happy that it's getting kind of warm out now. The sun is out, the birds are out, and there's like a nice fresh breeze coming through the windows. It feels good. It feels nice. I love the spring. I used to be more of like a winter person and like a fall person, but I think lately I'm gearing towards spring a lot more. It is the time of year that I was born in, so makes sense, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to editing this video because that is currently what I'm doing, and read a little bit more, see where we're at. suggest you read this author, though, to be honest. I really like her work, and I like how she phrases things and the way that she, like I said, develops characters and, like, gets you to care about these people that are, like, initially kind of abrasive, and then you're like, oh, okay. Maybe they do have a little spot in my heart. Okay, I'm gonna go.